100% the intro to this video has to be that compliment that she paid you, where she's like, hey, wait a minute, we got to say, like, that has to be the beginning.
Yes.
100%. That's the cold open.
Just like going,
Brett, I love your face and I love your hair and your little beard.
oh,
I think that you are delightful to look at. Just see this little face.
Oh, well,
say
you've made my year. You've made my
Now you're going to see how red he gets too.
Yes, you'll see how red.
I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
Well, hello, everyone out there in podcast land. This is the Beyond the Mouse podcast for all things Disney for NPR Illinois Community Voices and for the Front Row Network. I'm your host, Craig, and join me today, my co-host, Mr. Brett Rutherford.
Hello there.
And Miss Vanessa Ferguson.
Hello.
It is so great to have you two with me today as we get to talk to someone. I'm really super jazzed about this interview because this person has not only been in so many television and film properties that we all come to love, but she's also a Disney fan. We get to talk to Yvette Nicole Brown today, and I am so excited about this. I can't even contain my excitement. Brett, talk to me.
Words are failing me because I'm so excited about this. I saw her at D23 Expo. She is an amazing host of so many programs, and I have questions for her, and it'll be interesting, to find out exactly how deep her Disney geek goes. She's one of us.
I truly think that she's one of us. Now, for me, my first experience with her was actually watching Community. I binged the whole thing, and her character, whenever she's on screen, you just can't help but watch her because she's so emotive. You're so interested in her story. It's just great. And so I can't believe we get the opportunity to speak to her today. Vanessa, what are your thoughts going into the interview?
I am so excited because she is one of my favorite characters, if not the favorite character that I have for Big Shot. It's hard to say because, John Stamos and Jesselyn, they're also wonderful, but I really, really like the character she plays. I love her acting and everything. I want to be her. I think she's just really funny and cool. So I'm hoping that, we're going to get that same energy when we meet her. And I'm just really excited.
I'm really excited too. So let's not beat around the bush anymore. Let's get to our talk with Yvette Nicole Brown. We are so thrilled and honored to welcome to the show Yvette Nicole Brown. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm a little zoomed out. This is my third Zoom of the day, but I got enough vim and vigor for you guys. I'm excited.
Can I just tell you that I think you are maybe one of the most wonderful people we've had a chance to talk to. Just your whole persona is just like, so don't worry if you've had a lot of Zooms. We are just really looking forward to talking to you.
Thank
for
you
sure.
so much. That's very kind. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Vanessa, you have the first question.
Yes. Well, we are such big fans of Big Shot, and you do such a great job of balancing out this kind of character who is cool, like I want to be friends with her, but also very much the principal who could be tough, but she has to be. So I wanted to ask, with your portrayal, is that kind of something that you came up with, or did that really come from the writing?
I mean, it's David E. Kelly and Dean Laurie are our showrunners and writers, and they're both amazing. So I wish I could say, well, it was me. I have decided every role that I do, even if they're tough or maybe even a villain sometimes, I try to just imbue a little bit of twinkle. So I think what you're seeing is that the lines may be a little bit stern, but I kind of wanted to imbue her with a little bit of love and kindness because she's in charge. But she does still like people, and she cares about the girls, and she wants Marvin Korn to be better. And you get more things with honey than with vinegar. So I think that's what you see, just trying to give a little subtext to everything that I say.
Yeah. And you're right. You twinkle so well in that.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And I know that Brad Garrett was a part of the creation of this. We're big Brad Garrett fans. Did you get a chance to talk with him as you're putting the show together? Any fun memories there?
I know Brad from way back. I did his sitcom years ago. One of my earlier things. So this was like a reunion for me with him. He wasn't on set much because we shot a lot during COVID. So a lot of people were not able to be there in the way that they would have been, I'm sure, if we weren't, in the middle of a plague. But I did early on in the show, we did do table reads together, and he would come to all the table reads. And, he's such a a formidable presence. So when he walks in the room, you're aware he's there, and his laugh is guttural. So when you get a laugh from Brad Garrett, you know that you really hit the mark. So yeah, he's a lovely man. It was great being on something that he helped create.
I love
That's
that.
all wonderful. And Big Shot really truly is my favorite original show on Disney
Oh,
Plus.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It does such a wonderful job of taking what your expectations might be about a high school girls basketball team and then just turning it,
Yeah.
turning it on its head. So we're so excited that it was announced that you're heading back for a second season. We can't wait. If you could give our audience sort of a message that you'd like to convey through that show, what might that be?
You know that there's always room for a second chance. You always can start again. That you don't have to be what other people have decided you are. You know, if someone has declared that you're the bad girl or the nerdy one or the whatever they put on you, you don't have to own it. And I think it's important to cut yourself some slack, and I think that's what Marvin is learning to do. He's played by the fabulous John Stamos. He's pliable and he's movable, and even though he comes in thinking that he knows everything, he's open to someone else's interpretation of how he could do something better. And I think that if we all were a little more pliable and a little more aware that maybe we don't know it all, the world would be just a lot better. So I hope that that's what people get from Big Shot. I hope that's what we give, the ability to be happy who as you are, and to grow when need be. I think that's the lesson.
That's so wonderful. And, I love that you also get to represent so many different people on that show, because we've talked to some creative people, and that message of making sure that people can see themselves when they're watching media and watching content, that representation, that's so important. So just thank you for that. We also had a chance.
Directors too, because they had a lot to do with it, and our showrunners.
Absolutely. They put together such a great ensemble. And actually, we had a chance to talk to Jesselyn just before the show premiered.
So much.
Yeah. Well, and she mentioned the true friendship that the two of you had developed on set. But do you have any fun behind the scenes stories you want to share with either
about
John or Jesselyn?
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, John, of course, is my fellow Disney lover. He and his wife and his kid loves Disney as much as I do. And he and I both just got to have our childhood dream come true, being in the Muppet special, Muppet's Haunted Mansion. So John is professional. He's funny. He's just a good egg. He's the kind of guy where I remember when I got the gig, I reached out to a friend of mine, Kelly Jenrette, who worked with him on Grandfathered. And I said, what should I know about, John Stamos? I never worked with him, been a fan forever. And she said, John is the kind of guy where you will have worked with him 5 years ago, and he still will reach out to you on your birthday.
Wow.
He's that guy. I mean, there was one time I'm a caregiver for my father, and it was a day where I was running crazy, and I just didn't feel like I get food for me and for him and whatever. And I just mentioned it to John in a text. And within an hour, there was food on my front door, my doorstep. He had sent food for me and my dad. Like, he's just that guy. And that sweet Jesselyn, first of all, she's amazingly talented, amazingly beautiful. She has the driest wit. She is so flippin' funny and sarcastic in the best way. She is the kind of person that shows up for her friends. I was honored to get a Humanitarian Award recently. And, when I didn't know this because I'd never really gotten an award before, but when you get an award, they say, who would you like to speak for you? Like, who would you like to introduce you? And I was like, I want Jesselyn. You know what I mean? Because I knew, one, that she knew me. I knew that she understands me at a soul level. She understands who I am as a person, and I understand who she is. We've had great conversations and cried together and laughed together. And I just knew that she would understand the heart of me and be able to explain why I do what I do and why I'm the person that I am. And she tore the house down. Like, by the time I got up to receive my award, I was in tears. And I laughed and cried, and that's who she is. She's just amazing. Great mother, great actress. She's just everything, and super thin and pretty.
It's all that chemistry that comes together in such a great way in that show, and that ensemble is just so fantastic. So thank you for Big Shot. And we have so many other questions to ask you about. Brett, I know you had one that you wanted to ask.
Come on, Brett.
Well, I just have to say it. I'm so excited and impressed that you call yourself a Disney geek, and you're in a safe place here. So welcome. So I've attended D23 Expo in 2017 and 2019 and,
Yes,
you know,
you were
slept on the
saying.
floor of the convention center. I am Disney hardcore. But
Yes.
you've actually been a part of D23 Expo.
Yes.
So, okay. So in 2019, you were the host for probably the most anticipated panel at D23 Expo, Disney Plus.
Yes.
It was amazing. Your bedazzled Disney Plus logo shirt was everything.
Thank
And you were an amazing host. And thank you.
Thank you.
So,
yes. Question.
yeah. So now as a major Disney fan with a job to do, how do you control your inner Disney geek when all the announcements were made and all of the amazing talent were ready to go on?
Brett, I don't control it. And if you watch the any clips from that night, I was like, here comes Jeff Goldblum. Like everything I said was like, so
It
like,
was great. It was
like
great.
I was a freaking maniac. And I still pinch myself that they let me be the face of that launch. And they let me, I'm bringing out, the head of Marvel and the head of Lucasfilms. And I'm bringing out
Yes.
everybody, everything that we love. WandaVision was presented that day, and everybody else,
Yes.
well, I don't know what it's going to be. And now we know, and the Mandalorian, like it was just beyond. And I want to
Yeah.
shout out Jeffrey Epstein, who works for Disney, not that one, the good one,
Mhm.
works for Disney. And he's the one that put my name in the hat to host
Oh, wow.
Masquerade. And
Oh,
so I
yes,
hosted
right.
Masquerade, which I freaking love, you guys. Like hosting
Yes.
Masquerade, judging it.
Yeah.
Judging Masquerade
right.
is the most fun you can have as a human being. Like just all these beautiful costumes just come. So he put my name in the hat for that. And then when the launch of Disney Plus was happening, he put my name in like, well, you like Yvette and she loves Disney. So I'm like, he could get a kidney. Like it was the most amazing thing. And one more thing about the bedazzled Disney Plus shirt.
Yes.
I asked if we could get something like that. I was like, I
Oh,
want to be a
wow.
walking billboard for Disney Plus. So
Well, it
I don't
was
know if that's a
gorgeous.
hat. I don't know if that's a t-shirt. I don't know. I said, I will wear black. And can you guys just give me something with the logo?
Oh,
Because I want,
wow.
every time they see me, I want them to see Disney Plus. So they bedazzled it for me. And I have a couple of them and I wear them when I
Oh.
go to Disney events. I'll be like, I'm wearing my t-shirt. So
That is so
listen,
cool.
I love everything Disney, and I'm honored that I'm a part of the family in this small way. It's ridiculous.
Yes. Yep. So
Yeah.
it was awesome. I can't wait
Thank
for the
you,
next
Brett.
one whenever. And I know that you'll be there because you're kind of like, you're
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I'm 100% going to be there.
Yeah.
100%.
Did you have
Yvette-
any behind the scenes like stories that you wanted to share from D23 or
Oh,
anything
gosh,
that
like
really
just-
fun
I
that
mean,
happened?
I got to walk the convention floor the night before anybody was there, which was pretty great. So I got to walk through all the different, exhibits and see everything before everybody saw it. And then just how surreal it was to be backstage with everyone that was going to be on Disney Plus and to be a part of all of the rehearsals with all the heads of all the different
Oh, sure.
arms. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
in there with Kathleen Kennedy as we talking about how they're going to do the
Yes.
Star Wars, the Lucasfilms.
Ewan
part of it.
McGregor. Yes.
Come on, Ewan
okay.
McGregor was backstage with me. I did a
Yeah.
film with him years ago, and he remembered me, which is crazy.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
so
just
good.
it was like getting asked to be a part of all of your favorite things at once. Muppets,
Wow.
Marvel, Star Wars. I mean Disney. It was all there in one place, and Jeff Goldblum. I don't know
And
what
Jeff
to
Goldblum.
you
say.
say, I'm sorry, you say that you were very excited. I thought you were elegant and you came off
Brett,
so well. I mean,
Brett.
that's what I was expecting. So
Oh,
inside
Brett.
you kept your inner Disney geek, tapped down enough that
you.
we couldn't know you were just being brilliant. So
Well,
thank
because
you
I
for that.
also, you want to show up. Like when you guys do this, like you want to show up well for Disney, right? So
Mhm.
I was back. I had a conversation with Yvette. I said, listen, Yvette, now I know you are very excited, but you cannot take all of this out there. So go on in the dark over here in the corner, get it out.
Yep.
Go out and say that and then come back and get it out again. Then go out and say that and then come back here and get it out
Well,
again.
it worked.
yeah.
It was perfect.
Thank
It
you.
was so good.
Thank
And
you
I
so
watched
much.
it again, in
Did you
preparation
wait?
for
Do you
this.
have it? I've never seen it.
Oh, well, I think there's like clips
Brett,
of it. It's on YouTube. We'll send it to you. I'll find them. I will send them to you.
Tell them they can send it with a watermark. I've never seen it.
Okay.
So
wow.
I want to see myself go. I mean, I just
Oh,
it
it's
was
so good.
come on,
Yeah.
crazy.
We'll do that. We will
Thank
do
you,
that.
Brett.
Yeah.
Please, I
Oh,
want to
sure.
see it.
Yeah.
So Yvette, I'm so glad you mentioned the Muppets because
Sure.
we love the Muppets Haunted Mansion. You make
Thank
an
you.
appearance and we got to talk to Miss Piggy, which was just wonderful to meet her. We were wondering who was your favorite Muppet to meet on set? Was it Gonzo and Pepe?
I mean, my favorite Muppet in the world is Gonzo. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying that because I did the film with him. He actually is my favorite. I'm going to go back there someday as my favorite Muppet song. Rainbow Connection is number 2, but I'm going to go back there someday as number 1. I think it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. And Dave, who is Gonzo's friend, his longtime friend, sings it
Mhm.
beautifully. And so he's my favorite. But I did get to meet Kermit.
Aw.
While I was there. I was
Wow.
at my fitting and Kermit was there doing a little bit of his things and he came in to say hello. And I don't know if I will ever be the same. So the only way it could have been better is if it was Mr. Jim Henson, of course, but it was wonderful experience. And being on set, what I love about the Muppets more than anything, having worked with them now, is how irreverent and naughty they are in between takes. Like just really fun, silly. Most of them work blue. So it was just kind of fun to get to see the other side of them as well. So
Sure.
A little Avenue Q in your Muppet
little
set
Avenue Q
adventure.
with your Muppets. But it was wonderful and it was all, politically correct. Like there was nothing that HR needs to know about, nothing like that. But
Okay.
it's funny to see your favorites having a conversation with you and they're just having a real conversation. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's so awesome. And, the response to that special, honestly, like when I first saw it, it really was on the same level as Muppet's Christmas Carol for me.
Oh,
It really
thank you.
delivered. And so that's one that I think people are just going to come back to year
I
after
think so.
year. And, it's fun because you're a fan of the parks, you're a fan of
Mhm.
Disney. It married so well Muppets
Didn't it?
and then also the attraction.
It so did.
Yeah.
I told people in my interviews we did to promote it. It's like it's a two-hander. Like if you love the Haunted Mansion, great. You're gonna enjoy it for that. If you love the Muppets, great. But if you love both,
Mhm.
joy abounds. Joy abounds.
Absolutely. So you mentioned that you had a Humanitarian Award recently,
Mhm.
and following you on social media, seeing you in the press, you are such a champion for education.
Yes.
And I so appreciate that. You're retweeting Donors Choose
Yeah.
and you're helping and supporting teachers. And it means a lot to us. But I also noticed that you do so much for companies like Nickelodeon and Disney
Mhm.
Plus and Disney. What is it about youth programming in particular that is a draw for you?
Well, if I hadn't moved into entertainment, I was going to be a teacher. I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. 5 and 6-year-olds are my jam. And so I've always had a love for education and I've had some really great teachers. I've had some really amazing men and women that changed the trajectory of my life just by introducing me to things that I didn't know or believing in me at times when I didn't believe in myself and imparting in me how important it is to care about learning. Right. And so as I've gotten older and the amount of people that are paying attention to me has grown because I don't traffic in celebrity and I don't believe in that crap. Not for me. I'm a regular person and it is what it is. But as more people may know who I am or be paying attention, I decided that I want to shine a light. Like whatever light hits me, I'm getting that mirror and throwing it back towards things that matter. And that's why I retweet Donors Choose so much because I feel like a lot of these teachers, most of these teachers are unsung and they don't have what they need in their classrooms. And I kind of love that there's an organization that helps them, which ultimately helps the kids and the kids are the future. So it's just important to me. And so it's being a part of celebrating Nickelodeon and Disney and other programming that's for kids is all a part of that. It's all about educating them and making sure they have what they need. And I always try to, my dog's chewing on the bones. If you hear that, I'm sorry. I always
That's
try
okay.
to choose projects, at least projects where I'm seeing, some of my voiceover may get a little naughty when I do cartoons, sometimes it's a little naughty, but anytime I'm on camera, I try to make sure that it's something that people from 8 to 80 can watch. So that I stay in the family friendly space because I believe that there needs to be entertainment that's for families.
Yeah. And as a parent of a 5-year-old, I thank you for that. It's really cool to see. And he made it to the John Stamos part of Muppet Haunted Mansion. And then
too scary.
We won't spoil it for people that haven't seen it. But when something happens to Mr. Stamos, he was like, oh, He actually, I saw him go like
Yeah,
this.
It's a lot. No,
You know,
it
so
was
it
too
was
much.
good.
It was too much.
It
for
was
the
Next year, maybe.
Yeah,
Go watch
next
it
year.
next year.
2 years from now, he'll be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
next year. Vanessa, you had the next question.
Yes, you are a self-proclaimed super fangirl. You love Star Wars, you love Comic-Con,
I do.
and you host Cosplay Mayplay. So you know what it means to be a
Yes.
fan.
I do.
What's your best moment as a fan? And do you have any favorite memories of meeting your fans?
My favorite memory as a fan. I mean, it's so hard because I've been so blessed to meet so many of my heroes. But I was doing a charity event, a Red Nose Day event, filming, and Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, was also going to be doing this promo. And I found out, and I reached out to the Red Nose Day people and said, is there any way I can just come a few minutes early just so I could just touch the hem of his garment as he leaves? I just wanted to have a moment. And they laughed and said, sure, come early. And so I went to the session, the shoot, and I'm kind of hiding in the back because it's Mark Hamill and I don't want to be disruptive. And also I can't control my nerd all the time. And I look over and he's finishing and he looks over and he says, is that Shirley? Is that Shirley Bennett? And I said, no way. I was like, no way. So I literally had to, kind of get myself together because he had like basically put out the lightsaber for me to come forward. And I came over and talked to him and he was a community fan and he was just so lovely. And we're friends now and I can tweet him and he'll respond. And, so that's pretty doggone huge. I don't know how much bigger it gets than that in the fandom space, in the nerd space. And hosting Cosplay Melee was one of my, it's so bittersweet because I feel like that show was ahead of its time. I think cosplay is such a huge and beautiful and amazing art form. I think those artisans they don't get their flowers as they should. And I think we only did like 6 episodes of that show and they got to really shine. So I that's the one that got away. Like if that one could come back, I'd be so happy because I think cosplayers are just gold.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of cosplay, I mean, I really enjoyed Cosplay Melee too.
Yes.
And it's clear that you know your way around cosplay and a costume shop, and you've probably used a Dremel rotary tool too.
I may have.
Yeah, you may have. Oh, well, good.
Have.
Well, okay. So the big news is that some friends of mine, unfortunately, it's not Vanessa and Craig, but I'm going to Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser.
You're going on the tour, the hotel experience?
Yes, there's 5. Yes, there's 5 of us, and we're all going to, dress up because you have to be a part of the Imagineers.
You better
yeah.
do it.
So, any advice for that? Just, watch these. Oh, actually, your show, Cosplay Melee, is on the Sci-Fi website. You can watch it.
Know everything, Brett. Like,
no. I just do research. So anyway, any suggestions? Just
I would say be true to your heart. Like if you're Jedi or Sith, stay there, because I have a feeling if you are a Jedi and you dress as Sith because you think it's cute or vice versa, you're gonna have some role play situations that'll be very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I am Jedi to my soul. I would never do anything. I could tell, Brett. I could tell. So I would never do anything Sith. So if it's an immersive experience, if you're gonna dress up, you walk in letting them know which side you repping. So that there's no.
I might be kind of sneaky. I don't know, because I feel like I'm kind of a spy sort of thing.
You're a spy.
I'm working on it.
Then you got to be neutral then. But you don't go in there looking like, don't go in a stormtrooper nothing. I don't do that.
No.
You don't want to end up in some stormtrooper meeting. They didn't pulled you in and they talking about all the evil plans, and you really just want to be sitting with Yoda having a good time. So don't do it.
I just don't. I'm very excited about that.
When do you go? I didn't even know it was open and available to people. When are you going?
Yeah. Well, annual pass members. Well, if there were a couple of different levels of kind of early reservations. It opens to everyone on October 28th, but I'm going March 19th.
And those are just for reservations, right? So I think it actually opens sometimes in March, right?
March 2nd.
Yeah.
I think.
I am going to. I don't normally
see you there.
Do this. I do not normally do this. I'm going to use whatever juice I have. It might be just a little tiny, you know how they put the orange juice in a really small glass. It might be a really small glass of OJ, but whatever juice I have, I'm about to try to use it
you know what you
Yeah, we'll
do.
use it beforehand. Yeah.
If you,
Oh, yeah.
of course, they should have that for you anyway. But I'm saying if you need that extra boost, you just DM Mark Hamill himself, and then
You're right.
probably
I could.
gonna
I got a
happen.
feeling he can go early. I
Yeah,
have a
imagine he
feeling
can.
he's gonna be invited early.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, gosh, I'm
Well,
so
thank
jealous.
you
That's
for,
awesome.
yes, I will be true to
Be true.
myself. Yes.
You know
it's
what?
about
And
the
this
light
is
side.
this is the Sith in me. But if you want to join Brett, he will kick all of his friends out of that group for you. I'm just saying. I know
No,
Brett.
I'm like going, yeah, we
I
needed.
I want Brett to go with the people that he planned to go with. But I mean,
Yes.
listen, if I had any Sith in me, I'd be like, that's a good idea. I don't have any Sith in me. I'm Jedi
I
through
bet
and
you
through.
could, yeah, you'll get there and you'll have a great
Yeah, it's gonna
time.
be
And
great.
then
Yeah.
we'll talk again. Hey,
Yes. Can I just point a personal privilege? Brett, I love your face and I love your hair and your little beard.
Oh,
I think that you are delightful to look at. Just see this little face.
oh,
I just
well,
wanted to say it.
no,
I
you've
just
made
wanted
my
to say it.
year.
I gotta say it.
You've made my
Now
year.
you're going to see
So
how
thank
red
you.
he gets too.
Yes, you will see how red. Okay, so you have some Marvel things going on, and I'm like, I was trying to bring my best Chris Hemsworth to you today. Joking,
Well,
of
yes,
course,
that's Thor. That's
jokingly.
Thor once he let his hair grow, let his beard
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, well, I had to coax you into that, but thank you.
No, it looks good. It looks good. I already gave the compliment. The compliment was
Oh, well,
already
thank
in
you.
your lap.
Thank
I
you.
gave it to you. Little
Okay,
face.
I'll just say
Let's-
thank you.
Let's throw some compliments your way though,
Please.
because we know you are a very good singer, and there is a clip on YouTube of you singing "We Will Rock You," and you are wonderful. And
Thank
so
you.
you're welcome. And I want to ask, are there opportunities for you in the future that we're going to see of you singing, maybe even on Broadway?
Oh gosh, I've never felt worthy of Broadway, so probably not on Broadway. Like I don't know when I'm going to get to the point where I feel like I've done enough to deserve that, but probably not on Broadway right now. But I sing on all my cartoons, and I also do a lot of background singing on Central Park on Apple Plus, by the way. So I sing on there. I sang on Elena of Avalor. I sing on Chicken Squad. So I sing a lot, just not. It's always in character. Like it's not as me. It's
Yeah.
whatever that character's voice is. So yeah, it's what
Well,
you
that's
what
Broadway
you saw with Frank
too,
and Josh.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess,
Mhm,
I just, I don't know. Broadway is so huge to me. So huge.
Wow, I think you could do it. But one follow-up, will you be singing in the new DisEnchanted movie? Because you absolutely should.
I'm actually not allowed to say who's singing.
I'm
and who
sure.
isn't singing.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I do know that this was leaked that Idina Menzel is singing. So, to heck with me. You got Idina singing. You really got everything you need over there. So, yeah.
Yeah, that did come out because, of course, she famously didn't have a song in Enchanted.
I
and
know.
so-
Because they're like, and you got that voice, but what she sings and woo.
Well,
That's all I can say.
Excellent.
Well, speaking of Disenchanted, when we talked with Alan Menken, and I can't believe that we say that,
Oh
but
my
anyway,
God, so
I
crazy.
very boldly asked if there was anything he could tell us about Disenchanted.
Mhm.
And then he knowingly said with a sparkle in his eye, "It's good,"
It
which
is good.
sent me into the next world. I mean, I love
good.
Enchanted and I cannot wait for Disenchanted. So,
It's good.
Yvette, is there anything you can share with us about Disenchanted?
I can share that Jama Mays and Maya Rudolph are delightful to work with, along with the rest of the cast, but they were my main team members. I have most of my scenes with them, and they're delightful and fun and collaborative. I can say that. Amy
Sure.
Adams, one of my favorite things about her, and Adam Shankman plays great songs in between takes,
Mhm.
right? He has
Oh,
a great
wow.
playlist, right? But beyond that, when he's not playing music, here's the secret. Amy Adams sings. She sings
Oh.
all the time. And
Oh,
she
wow.
and I and Maya and Jama all are singers and harmonizers. And so she would just start
Oh,
singing
yeah.
a song and then everybody would join. So it was literally like just getting to sing with Giselle
Oh,
for the
wow.
entire shoot, which was
Well,
pretty doggone awesome. So
you know,
that's my secret. And also Ireland is amazing. If you have never been to
how
Ireland,
cool.
oh, the people, the country, it's just beautiful. It's everything about
Great.
it is beautiful.
Oh,
Oh,
how cool.
Mhm.
Well, I can't wait for it. No, really cannot wait
No,
for it.
it's gonna
So
be great.
excited.
You're gonna like it.
Yeah. Great. Thanks.
Yeah.
You mentioned this earlier, but you lend your voice to so much voice acting. I am a fan. My son loves The Rocketeer, the season that was done on that. I'm such a fan of that character. But of course, you've done Family Guy, American Dad. You mentioned Elena. You mentioned the Marvel Lego properties. So can you talk about that experience and how, of course, it differs? I mean, I know it's still acting and emoting, but how is that different from your on-set experience?
You know, the thing about voiceover that is very difficult in the beginning is that if you're on camera actor, and especially if you're like got a rubber face like me, like if you watch me on Community, I don't say a lot of lines. My face says a lot of lines, right? So I'm used to using my face to share how I'm feeling. And when you're in doing voiceover, you can't. So I remember the first voiceover thing I booked was a video game. I did not stay in the video game. I bought the video game to play the game and get to where it was me. And when I got there, it wasn't me. And this is why. We were in the session, and the casting director said, okay, that, you know, this line is authoritative. So I said the line, and they came back on the mic and they said, well, no, Yvette, like I said, it needs to be authoritative. And I said, well, I raised my eyebrow. I furrowed my brow. And they were like, well, and I was like, oh God. So there, you have to find a way to take whatever is on your face or in your heart or on your mind and put it in your voice. Now it takes some work to figure out how to do that. But the good thing about it is once you do it, it's yours forever. It's like riding a bike. Once you crack that matrix, it's yours. So it took me a minute. So that's the difference. It's getting in the session and knowing that everything that you have and that you bring, all your physicality, has to live and breathe in your throat and come out your mouth. And that's the thing. It's still acting, it's still reacting, it's still being present and being focused, but it really is that. So that's the big difference.
Okay. Now, because I mentioned the Marvel Lego properties that you've done, I hear you're quite the Lego fan. Do you have a favorite set? Do you have, you know, what can you tell us about Lego?
I just showed you my Grogu. This is not going to get dark, so don't worry. I lost my mom this year. And so when I got back home while I was doing it, DisEnchanted. So when I got back home, you know, it's all emotions and you don't know what you're doing. Right. And I needed something. Like, I'm like, am I going to go back to crocheting or knitting? Like, what am I going to do to get my mind off of the fullness of this horror? Right. And I had a couple of Lego sets that I had bought that I hadn't completed yet. And I was like, well, let me just, you know, I'm just going to build, you know, the Infinity Gauntlet or whatever. And I just started building. And next thing I know, 2 or 3 months had gone by. And every time I felt a pang, and it's not that I did it to not feel the grief of losing my mom, but it was kind of like having a friend with me as I went through the grieving. And then, so when you put your time in and you focus and time just passes by, you look up and at the end, you've built something, you've created something from that pain. So I don't think you have to be in pain to do Lego, but I think that Lego gets your mind in a really zen, peaceful place where you're able to just put it all aside. There's no pandemic while you're doing Lego. You're not fighting with your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or girlfriend when you're doing Lego. Life is good when you're building with Lego. And so that's, you know, and so my birthday came up soon after my return home, and I am shameless when it comes to begging for things that why not? A closed mouth don't get fed. So I reached out to Lego and I said, Lego, this is my birthday. I love you. My birthday's coming. Aww. And they sent me like 3 kits. They sent me the grand piano, and they sent me
wow.
They sent me a sailing ship. And there's one other thing they sent me. They sent me three kits that I got to build. Thank you, Lego. This is not a commercial, but thank you, Lego. And I just think it's wonderful, and people should, if you like, you know, you building and thinking, and if you like puzzles and that kind of stuff, Lego's it.
Absolutely. So I also happen to host a Ted Lasso recap podcast called Peanut Butter and Biscuits. I did tweet you about it. You're right. That's great. Thank you for that. Yeah. I 100%, as someone that's been recapping the episodes, wholeheartedly endorse the idea of you doing an official podcast, by the way.
Thank you.
But you know, what is it about, and I know this, you know, you're not connected to this series, but I thought I'd ask because you are such a fan. Yeah, I feel like we're all connected through this series.
Not officially, but yeah, we all are.
What is it, do you think, about this show that happened to touch so many different people?
You know, I think it was the timing of the show. I think we were coming out of a very dark place as a nation with the election and the pandemic. There was a lot of nastiness and just mean-spiritedness. And what I love about Ted Lasso, the character and the show, is that he and the show model that it's okay to have hope. It's okay to believe. It's okay to have your teeth kicked in and still believe that the sun is going to come out tomorrow. And it doesn't make you corny or Pollyanna. It just makes you kind and sweet. And it's okay to be kind and sweet. And it also shows as seasons go on, as the second season showed us, excuse me, it teaches us that, still waters run deep, and people that you think have it all together might really be going through some things. And that's another reason to be kinder and care more about people. You didn't ask this, but excuse me, what I love about Big Shot is that I feel like Big Shot, my show on Disney Plus, has the same DNA as Ted Lasso. It's not just because they're both set in the world of sports, but because it's just about reassessing and being there for people and, just making the path a little cleaner for others.
Yeah.
Like it's more.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
As they would say,
listen, didn't even do this on purpose. It's such a nerd.
Oh, I love that. As they say, onward, forward. It's so cool because we jumped on this in the second season. So now we are going to do recaps of all the first season. And
I love it.
I'm so excited to get to experience that again. But thank you for that. I'm just such a fan of that show.
And the good thing too about it is there can be more than one Ted Lasso recap show or podcast, because everybody's going to get something different out of the show. What touches me or makes me think is going to be something different that makes you think or touches you. And that's what I love about the show. And I'm glad that you're doing a podcast. And if I'm blessed to do one myself or a show or whatever, I hope to just bring how it's blessed me.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's important.
As a fan, I can't tell you how excited I was at the thought of you doing that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hoping that comes to fruition, because that would be perfection, truly.
Yeah.
So absolutely. Vanessa, you have some rapid fire questions.
Yes.
Ooh, I love
We're
rapid
going to have a little fun here. We're going to have
Let's do
some
it.
Disney rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So you can take as little or as much time as you'd like. First question, here we go. What is your favorite Disney film?
Oh God, that's so hard. I mean, I'm going to say today, because it changes every day. I'm going to say Up today. Because it's just, especially with losing my mom, it's just a great story about loss and moving through your emotions. So I'm going with Up today.
For sure. Where would you go first, Disneyland or Walt Disney World?
Well, I would go to Disneyland first because I live in LA, but because I get there quicker. But if I had my choice, I would go to World because it's just bigger. It's just more to explore. Yeah,
for sure. And the 50th, which
That's
is
right.
so exciting.
It's very exciting.
Was just there. It was amazing.
Brett,
Yep.
you're everywhere, man. You're all the cool places.
You're right. And I yell at him about it all the time.
Yeah, have to,
Yvette, what is your favorite Disney attraction?
Ooh, I'm kind of a purist. Like I really love Small World.
Yes, thank you. It's
yeah.
color
Disneyland,
therapy for
specifically.
me.
Yeah, and it's evergreen. Like when you go in there, it's always the same. The puppet's been there for about 40 years. It's the same puppets. Like you really just your little thing, just rocking back and forth. Like it's like a warm hug. And Haunted Mansion is a close second.
Yes, absolutely. What is your favorite Disney park snack?
Oh, the Dole Whip. Oh,
Thank you.
Yes.
So
I guess
good.
we have to ask. So, do you have any opinions on the turkey leg?
do you know that I've never had the turkey leg?
Oh,
Never.
Skip it because
Is
I
it-
just had it
it's
for
not
the
good?
first time.
You didn't-
Vanessa loves the turkey leg, and that's
Okay,
like
let's
this whole
talk about it.
controversy
Let's
thing.
talk about it. Okay, why don't you like it, Brett?
Well, I mean, I didn't like the appearance of people walking around
With hunks of
they're-
meat?
Yeah.
But was it delicious?
No, because I'm not a fan of dark meat. So I'm like going, I'm eating a
Oh,
turkey
I don't
leg.
like
I'm
dark
going,
meat.
this
I don't
is
like dark meat. I don't like dark. Brett, are we the same person?
I don't
Because
know. Well,
I
yes.
like white meat. Okay, well, listen, okay, let me say this in addition to the Dole Whip. Let me add Galaxy's Edge has great There's like a wrap. I think it's a Ronto wrap. Or
Ronto wrap,
Ronto
yeah.
wrap,
it's so flipping good. I was off meat for a minute because I dip a toe into vegetarianism every now and again. I went there and dipped right back out. I was like, give me the Ronto. What is that? Give me that. Give me that. So yeah.
Ronto wrap, yeah.
But and Vanessa, what do you like about the turkey leg?
I don't know. I feel so powerful. with
It's
that-
such a
with that
Sith
turkey
thing
leg.
to like the turkey leg.
It
That's
is
why
a
we don't
Sith
like
thing.
it, right? It's a Sith thing of
I'm just like, going,
animals.
they handed it to me and it was like, it sizzled and I'm like going, ow, 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 you know.
Yeah, no,
it
I'm
was,
with
but
you, Brad.
anyway.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
had it. I've never been drawn to it. Okay, what's the next question? I'm sorry, we got off.
Okay, this
Nice
is
turkey
the
leg
final
tangent.
question, but
Yes.
and it might not be so rapid, but what was your favorite thing about being part of the Marvel universe after your appearance in Avengers Endgame? Anything that happened after your appearance that you just loved?
Yeah. My enduring friendship and Twitter bayship with Chris Evans.
Yes.
That
Oh.
is
Oh,
like,
hello.
I mean, we're friends. We're Twitter bays. That's been, it's canon. He's confirmed it. I don't care if he gets married in real life and has kids. He remains my Twitter boyfriend for life. So there's that. And then he's also just really a wonderful person in person. And so we text each other and check on each other. And he's got a great app about policy and in politics called ASP, a starting point, which I think is really great. So he's really smart too, and just lovely, just a lovely human being. So that is the greatest takeaway from being in that
perfect-
elevator with Iron Man and Captain America.
Yeah, the
Thank
you.
perfect
I love that.
Brothers.
He's a perfect Captain America, and he has a
Oh.
heck of a cameo in Free Guy. I just watched it this last weekend.
Oh,
I don't want to
haven't
ruin
seen
it for
that yet.
you.
I haven't seen it yet.
Check it. Yeah, I think you would enjoy it, but
I'm
check it
pretty
out.
sure I would.
And
Just-
there's a heck of a cameo for
You just
Chris
told me
Evans
that
in
I'm
the
going to
show.
enjoy it because you said there's a cameo. by
Yeah,
Chris
yeah.
Evans, so I'm definitely going to enjoy it.
Brett, I think you have our second to last question.
Well, so Yvette, how do you describe Disney magic?
Oh, Disney magic is wonder, it's joy, it's education, it's tapping into the child within. I don't care what age you are. When you walk into Disneyland or Disney World or watch a Disney movie, you're that kid again. You know, and the thing is, I didn't grow up with a lot of money, so I never went to Disney World or Disneyland when I was a kid, and often didn't have an ability to see Disney stuff. But anytime I got a glimpse of any of it, it was like it just wraps you in love. You know, it's such a great experience. Let me say this too: when I was senior high school, our senior trip was going to Disney World, and again, I had never gone as a kid, and so I'm 17. I'm at Disney World. And I had a group of friends and they were like, so we're going to go here. We're going to go here. I said, no. I'm doing the 2 days in this park by myself. I was like, I don't know when I'm going to be back to Disney World. And if I want to go to Small World 5 times, I'm going to Small World 5 times. If I want to see Captain EO 17 times, I'm going to get back in line and see Michael do Captain EO 17 times. And I don't want to stop for a turkey leg. If I don't want to stop for a turkey leg. And so for those 2 days, I walk the park completely by myself and had the best time, and would run into my friends like, you sure you don't want to join us? No, I don't. This is my time at Magic Kingdom. I'm sorry. So it's that kind of, it's important and special and necessary and wonderful. And I love it.
That
Thank
is such
you
a
for that.
great answer.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for your time today. It has
Thank
just
you.
been a remarkable conversation. And thank you also for just the art and the creativity that you put out into the world, because it means a lot to a lot of us. But we have a last question that we like to ask, and that is there anything that you do so many of these
He was
interviews?
in a sunbeam. Would you see Brett in that sunbeam? That
I
sunbeam
did.
Yeah. Sorry.
was coming.
It was
Sorry.
really,
Oh
it
my
was really
gosh.
getting
He had to
serious.
fight his way out the
Because
sunbeam. The
You
sunbeam
know what it
almost
was? It's
pulled him
because they
in.
were worried about him getting pulled to the SIP.
It was
And
a
so
freaking tractor beam was pulling
Yeah.
into the
Oh
middle
my
of
God.
Brett. y'all.
Whoops.
Mark
Sorry.
Hamill
Yeah.
heard this conversation somewhere, and he was trying to make sure that Brett stayed on the light side.
They had a turkey leg on the
yeah,
other
so-
side of that light. Go on. I'm sorry. I'm done.
But we just like to ask, is there a story or a message that you're not often able to share just because you're kind of being asked all these questions? Is there something you just like to share with our audience as we close out?
Oh, I mean, I get to share this often, but I think that you can never share it enough. Kindness matters. It really does. Like there's so many, everyone right now, especially right now, because of what we're coming out of, everyone is going through something. And it's really important to not add to their trauma by being a jerk. So just imagine that everyone has lost someone, because at this point we all have. Just imagine that everyone has had a dream deferred, because at this point we all have. Except that everyone has gained weight, because we all have. Like, there's a lot of things that we all have lost in this time. And I think if we approach people as if they were coming out of trauma or had PTSD, the world would be a lot kinder. So I think kindness matters. Final answer.
All right. Thank you.
10 out of
Can't
10,
end,
fully recommend.
can't end any better than that. Thank you so much for your time today. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Can you guys smile so I can get a picture?
Absolutely.
Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Oh my goodness.
Thank
That
you.
was so
Thank
incredible.
you.
Thank you so much for your
Yeah.
My
time,
pleasure.
and
All right,
have a
thank you,
great
guys.
day.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Brett, I think you have a new best friend. I'm just gonna say it. That
I'm
was
in love.
say.
I mean, who are we kidding? Oh my gosh. Wow, that was.
You need to send her
made
those
my year.
links. You need,
I'll do
everything
that.
about that.
We're gonna
was
become
just
best
so great.
friends, please.
Oh my gosh.
Try
Just
not to be too needy, so, but I'll be cool.
yeah,
when does that
absolutely.
happen?
Absolutely.
Never.
No, that was really cool. And it was just so great to get to talk to her on so many varied topics. We basically ran, we didn't want to get too much into, at least I didn't want to get too much into community. I feel like she probably talks about that ad nauseum. I mean, that is a staple of her career, but she has so many other projects beyond that. And we got to really address and talk about a lot of different aspects. And what I think is cool is she uses her celebrity, and she talked about this in the interview, but she uses her celebrity for such good. So she turns that celebrity around and says, I have all these Twitter followers. I'm going to make sure that these teachers get what they need. I'm going to make sure that this cause that is very dear to my heart, I'm going to go out there and be a voice and an advocate for that cause. And it just, to me, I think that is a remarkable way to handle the success that she's had. And the fact that she was willing to talk to us is just, honestly, it's just heartwarming. It's wonderful. She's great. She's just great. So Vanessa,
She's
your
just
thoughts?
great.
She is so cool and funny. Oh my God. I don't mean to diss any of our wonderful guests. We have amazing guests on the show, but I think she may be the funniest person that has ever been on this show. She is hilarious and filled with so many wonderful life lessons. Like I want her to give us like a master class in life, because you can tell she's an educator, and she's, gosh, I mean, just everything she was saying, she was giving me chills, because she's just so wonderful and delightful. And I know we had quite a bit of time with her, but I want more.
I know. I had it was just at some point, it was like, I normally try to be very cool, calm, and collected, reading through the script of questions that we've come up with. But at some point, I'm just like, this is a conversation that we're having. We're starting to actually go back and forth. And it turned into Disney fans talking about properties she happened to be in. And just so grateful for her time. And I will say that Brett spends an awful lot of time editing these videos as well. So if you're an audio listener, definitely go and check out our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. It'll be on the Front Row Network YouTube channel. So go and check that out too, because it's cool when she shows us her Lego Grogu and like all of this stuff that she has going on too. And she makes a joke about Brett there at the end that you have to be watching the video to understand fully. So Brett, tell me about your best friend, Yvette.
She's the best friend ever. So, just like going, oh my gosh. Yeah, I wish that could happen. But, I will take this moment and I will keep it in my heart. I will play this again and again. And someday, if I'm at D23 Expo, or if I'm at, wherever, Disney place, because I do go, and she's there, I don't know that I will stalk her, but I will look for her. And, yeah. Anyway. Because she's
just
the
have
greatest.
a feeling like she'll just know you're there.
She will, she'll see me and go, "Why, Brett? It's so good to see you." So
I think that's how it's all going to go down. And she's so magnetic and wonderful. She's a star. Oh, guys, I love her. Can we? So, newsflash for Beyond the Mouse: every episode is now just going to be a devotion to Yvette Nicole Brown. There's no more Disney. We're just going to talk about her every episode from now on.
Ooh, that's a whole new. Oh, that'll be beyond.
That's
not be everything. Everything Yvette Nicole Brown. It wouldn't be beyond, because
Yeah, it can be a spinoff podcast. I mentioned I had to plug my Peanut Butter and Biscuits
Did you?
Ted Lasso podcast. I had to because I'm
I know.
contractually obligated. She is. I am a Ted Lasso fan. She is a Ted Lasso mega fan, and I truly appreciate that when I'm going back and watching that. But it was just so remarkable to be able to talk to her today. Again, I can't say that enough. Thank you, Yvette. If you happen to be listening back, thank you for your time. It was just so fantastic to get to talk to you, and thank you for your fandom, and thank you for your art and creativity that you put into the world. We really do appreciate it. If this happens to be your first Beyond the Mouse episode because you're a fan of Yvette's, then please go ahead and find our previous conversations, our conversations with each other, our conversations with folks like Alan Menken and Kevin Lima, and all these creative types that make this Disney company what we love and what we love to talk about every single week. You can find us on any podcast platform by searching Beyond the Mouse. You also can find us on social media, Beyond the Mouse Pod, as well as Beyond Mouse on Twitter, and then also Beyond the Mouse Podcast on Facebook. We also have a Facebook group, Beyond the Mouse Podcast Pals, where we like to interact with our listeners. So please go and check that out as well. It's remarkable. It's just so great. And you know what?
Best.
I think it's time. This is a couple of weeks away, but I think we can announce another special conversation we're going to be bringing you in November. Brett, would you like to do the honors?
In honor of Mickey's birthday, we are going to be speaking with the voice actor that portrays Mickey Mouse, Brett Iwan.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Isn't that it? Is that it? Is that what we were doing?
That is.
Yes,
That's the
okay.
surprise.
It's no longer. Yeah. It's still. Yeah. I'm still surprised. I am very surprised. That we talked to. Yeah.
We actually had a chance to record with Brett right after the 50th anniversary celebration at Walt Disney World, which he was a part of. And then our Brett was also a part of as well. And it's just a wonderful conversation. We can't wait for you to hear that on Mickey's birthday, November 18th. That'll be a special day of release for us as well. Any final thoughts, Vanessa, before we get out of here?
I mean, can life get any better right now?
No.
I'm not going to ask for a thing.
All right, Brett, any final thoughts?
I am really happy.
You got to keep
right
that
now.
beard. You got to keep that beard.
You can never shave it now.
I'll tell you what, you're going to be living on that compliment for the rest of the week. I know it.
Well, for a long time, yes. Whenever I need a little pick me up, I will.
You just go back and listen to that podcast. There you go.
That was nice. It was so very nice.
Absolutely, it was. Well, for Beyond the Mouse, I am Craig.
I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Brett.
And we will see you real soon in the front row. Maybe the front row of D23 Expo. We got one coming up, right?
Let's do it. Let's go.
D23.
Man.
Who's
we
going
got
to be there?
Destination D23, but
Let's
I'm
send
talking about the
Destination.
Expo.
Oh, the Expo. Oh, yeah. Well, that too. Yeah. Well, yes, we're going to that too, I hope.
Oh, hopefully. We'll see. Fingers crossed.